Hi everyone, welcome to Techno Training. On this section, I'll be walking you through how to automate build job and deployment using Jenkins, Maven, Git and Tomcat. Alright, so let's go further and see how we can be able to automate our CI/CD using all these DevOps tools. So let's start by installing some plugins. You know, Jenkins is powerful because of the plugins. That's why Jenkins can be able to integrate with every other DevOps tools with the power of plugins. So we're going to install some plugins and see how we can be able to integrate some of these DevOps tools along with Jenkins and to be able to deploy our job. Step 1, log into Jenkins web browser to configure Maven installation under Manage Jenkins Global Tool Configuration. Under Maven installation, you're going to enter Maven 3 as a name, enter part of Maven installation. This is the Maven home, and uncheck install automatically option. Alright, so let's see how we can be able to do that. So we already set up our Jenkins in the past lab. If you're not set up Jenkins, you can set up another Jenkins by reviewing the past lab on Jenkins. Alright, so this is my Jenkins dashboard. All I need to do is to go like right here and click on Manage Jenkins and Global Tool Configuration. Click on it, then it's gonna bring you right here. Then let's go back to the instruction and see. It said under Maven installation, enter Maven 3. So I can as well copy this. Under Maven installation, under Maven installations, click on Add Maven. Uncheck install automatically. So I'm gonna uncheck this. So under the name, paste Maven 3. Under the home, I'm gonna go back right here, copy this, and go back to my Jenkins and paste on Maven home. This will be the directory for the Maven home. Alright, so that's all we need to do right here, and save. Alright, so let's go back and see what next we have to do. Alright, so let's install some necessary plugins. Step 2, go to under Manage Jenkins, Manage Plugins to install SonarQube Scanner, Deploy to Container, and Jaco plugins. So we're going to install some plugins right now. So let's go back to the Manage Jenkins right here. We stay under Manage Jenkins, go to Manage Plugins. Then we're going to check Available tab. This is where you can install new plugins. Every other plugin you have installed will be under installed. Alright, so let's go back and see what we have to do. Step 3, click on the Available tab, type SonarQube on the search box and check, type Deploy to Container on the search box and check, and type Jaco on the search box and check. So I can as well copy this or type it, go back to right here under the available, paste that, and it's gonna bring right here. So check, this means check, and let's go back and see the next one. Then type Deploy to Container. You can as well copy that and check, and the last one is Jaco and check. Then after checking the all three, then click on Install Without Restart. So click on that, and let's go back to the instruction. Alright, we've done that. Click on Install Without Restart. Alright, so we can go back to the top page by clicking this. Alright, so let's go back to the next level. So let's start by automating our job and build a Maven project. So step 4, now go back to your Jenkins master CLI and install Maven to build sample web app package. Alright, so I'm gonna go back to my master, Jenkins master, which is the master right here. So already logging in right here. Alright, so let's go back and run sudo apt install Maven. Alright, this is a shortcut to install Maven. If you already have Maven on your master, you can just skip this part. Alright, so install. So the next thing we need to do, step 5, go back to your GitHub and create a project folder named My Awesome App. So now let's go back to our GitHub and create this project. Alright, this is my GitHub. I'm gonna go right here, click on it and click on new repository. Then I'm gonna paste my awesome app right here. I can make a check public and check readme and create this repository. Alright, so let's go back and see what next we have to do. Copy the clone https URL as shown below. Alright, so we go back to the GitHub, click on code and on https, copy that. Alright, so step 6, now go back to your CLI to clone the sample project from GitHub repo. So all you need to add is git clone and paste your copy clone URL. Alright, so I'm going back right here, type of git clone and paste. Alright, so now I'm able to clone this empty repository. Alright, so the next thing we need to do, navigate into the clone project and run the below script to build a Maven sample project. I need to navigate into this project folder. If I do ls, so this is the project folder that I just downloaded. Alright, so copy this and go right back. So enter. So the next thing, copy the below sample web app script and run on your CLI. So all we need to do is to copy this. So this is a sample Maven project script to run. So it's gonna run and build my awesome app for us. Alright, so let's go back right here and paste. And Maven is gonna build this, then package it. Alright, so Maven is packaging the build. Alright, so if you see it this way, then we're good. Alright, so step 7, to sync your build project and push into remote repo, run the below commands. Alright, so we're gonna run our git add to stage our build. Alright, so if you do git status, you're gonna see that git status. Alright, so it's telling us that we have this, but it's not being staged. Do you want to stage it? Then we do git add dot to stage it. Then the next thing we need to do git commit -m. Then let's commit message. Commit message can be new Maven build project. The message can be anything regarding the build. Alright, so git commit. Alright, we make this change and save. So the next thing right now we need to do is to push the change into our remote repo, so we can be able to push it to the world or share it with every other developer. So the next thing we need to do right now is to do git push. You already know what we need to do. The username for my GitHub, and the token, which is gonna be password. I don't keep my token, which is the bad practice. Alright, so make sure you keep your token. I always say this: developer personal access, create a new token, give my password for permission, and log on to it. Alright, let me say Maven T can be any name. Click on repo and generate and copy. Supposed to save that somewhere. Alright, so now I need to go back to my terminal. Click on my terminal and paste. It's not gonna show anything. Enter. Alright, so now I'm able to push my build into my GitHub remote repository. So if you come back right here now, let's go back to my repo, and this is it. Alright, so you can see right now, new Maven build project 2 minutes ago. Alright, so when you do git push, then you're gonna see this way. Alright, so let's go further and onto the step 8. Go back to Jenkins dashboard, click on new item, enter an item name as automate job and select freestyle project and click OK. Alright, so I'm just gonna copy this. Or you can type it and go back to my Jenkins dashboard, click on new item, paste or type, click on freestyle project and click OK, and it's gonna bring me right here. Alright, so let's go back and see what next we have to do. Step 9, go to the repository you created in GitHub and click on clone and select HTTPS URL and copy that. Alright, so the same thing we did before, go back right here, then click on right here, copy, and let's go back and see what next we have to do. Alright, so step 10, then go back to your Jenkins configure under source code management, click on Git and paste the above HTTP URL. Alright, so let's go back right here and under the Git source code management and paste right here. Alright, so let's go back and see what next we have to fix. Step 11, under build trigger, click on poll SCM, enter this value to check for every 2 minutes. Alright, so I might just copy this. This means every 2 minutes Jenkins to check if there's any trigger job from GitHub. Alright, so let's go back right here and so under the build trigger, click on poll SCM and paste this right here. So this means every 2 minutes Jenkins will pull and run it. Alright, so let's go back right here and see what next we have to do. Step 12, under the build tab, add build step, invoke top level Maven targets. Alright, so let's go to under the build tab and click right here. Under the build tab, you're gonna click on add build step and invoke top level Maven targets. Alright, so right here, then let's see what next we have to do. Step 13, select Maven 3 from the drop down and enter go as clean install. Alright, so let me just copy this, and on the default, click right here, you're gonna see Maven 3 that we added earlier on, and on here paste clean install. Alright, so let's go back, click on advanced, enter the path of POM file as my awesome app. So we're gonna copy that, come back right here, it said under the advanced, click right here and paste this right here. Alright, so we have clean install, we have Maven 3, and the POM file is my awesome app. That's the name of our app. Alright, so that's all we need to do right here. Alright, so let's go back and see what next we have to do. Step 14, scroll down to add PostBuild action, select archive the artifact, enter the below value, ignore if you get any error in red color. Alright, so I'm just gonna copy this. This is the wildcard. Then go back right here, then under the PostBuild or under the PostBuild action, then archive the artifact right here, click right here, it's gonna show files to archive, then enter this wildcard. Alright, so let's go back and see what next we have to fix. Alright, so step 15, click on PostBuild action, select record Jaco coverage. Alright, so let's go back right here, click on add PostBuild action, click on record Jaco coverage, and let's go back and see what else we have to do. Then still on add PostBuild action, select deploy war air to container, enter the same value as this. So I'm just gonna copy this. In the war air files, leave context path empty. Alright, so let's go back, stay under the PostBuild action, then deploy to war air container and paste this right here, the same thing, the wildcard, and leave the context path empty. Alright, so step 16, now go back to your Tomcat server CLI to add users and password to Tomcat users and add it to the Jenkins credential. Now we're done right here. The next we need to do is to click apply and save. Alright, so let's go back and see what next we have to do. So remember our Tomcat, so I'm gonna, let me see my Tomcat, go back right here. This is where I install my Tomcat. So I'm gonna copy the server and paste Tomcat A0. Alright, so this is my Tomcat. So this Tomcat I need to add a username and password to it, so I can be able to add that to Jenkins, so Jenkins can be able to connect to it and push my code on it. So this is Tomcat container. Alright, so this is my Tomcat server. So the next thing, let's go back to the instruction. Alright, so step 16. Now go back to your Tomcat server CLI to add user and password to Tomcat User XML and add it to Jenkins credential. Alright, so let's go right here to my Tomcat server. Alright, so I think I already have my Tomcat server logged on. Alright, that's it. Alright, so let's get to the root permission, sudo su, and go straight to the opt folder. Alright, so let's go to the opt folder. We need to add our own Manager GUI, whereby it's going to contain our username as Tomcat and password as password. So in a real-time scenario, the Tomcat name is going to be username that is going to be secure and password is going to be secure. But for the fact that we're just using this for the test, that's why we have Tomcat and password on it. But in the real-time scenario, make sure the password is more secure. And you can keep this and use this in the real-time scenario. So that's why I'm showing you and giving you all the script. Alright, so cd to the opt folder. That's where we have our Tomcat Apache. So we need to go into the Tomcat User.xml and add our own script on it. So this is the only way Jenkins can be able to access our Tomcat and deploy our code on it. Alright, so let's cd into the conf folder. If we do ls and paste. Alright, so now we're inside the conf folder. If we do ls, so this is where we're going. Alright, so this is where we're going to add our own Tomcat user and password. Alright, so let's use vi editor, vi tomcat users.xml. So alright, so this is what you're gonna see. Alright, so the next thing you need to do is to scroll down to the bottom part. In between the arrow and the Tomcat in between. So before you can be able to insert or paste or modify any text on this editor, you need to press I on your keyboard. I mean insert. That's the only way you can be able to type or paste or modify. Alright, so the next thing I'm gonna do is to navigate in front of the arrow and press enter. Then come back right here, copy our script and come back right here and paste. Alright, so the username is Tomcat, the password is password. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is to press escape to get rid of the insert and press shift ZZ to save and come out. Alright, so we got that done. So the next thing we need to do, cdspace ... to come out of conf file. Alright, so I need to come out of this folder, cdspace ... Alright, so I'm back here. So the next thing we need to do, you need to update the context.xml because it only allows localhost. Localhost means you have the same IP with the Tomcat and the Jenkins, so it's gonna be localhost. But right now we have our Tomcat set up in different server and Jenkins on different server, and we need them to integrate together. So we need to go inside this context and modify it so we can allow all traffic. So we can allow our Jenkins to access our Tomcat and be able to deploy to it. So we need to go to this directory in the web app manager meta f and edit this. Alright, so let's copy this and let's navigate. So if I do ls, you see our web app. So we're going inside the web app and manager into the meta inf. Alright, so paste that. Alright, so the next thing I need to do, let's use the vi editor to edit the context. So if I do ls, you see this is what we want to edit and modify. So we use the vi editor. So the next thing we need to do is to go all the way down, just as you can see right here. Here in Valve, it is allowing only local machine IP start with 127 and all that. So if you want to allow a certain IP like your Jenkins IP you can add that right here, which is right here. But to allow all IP right now, so let's add this value to allow all value. But just in case in the real-time scenario you have you try to secure your Tomcat, you can just come right here, copy the IP of your Jenkins and paste right here. All right, so let's edit this part to allow all traffic. So before we can be able to edit anything on here, press I. I is for insert. Then I'm gonna come right here and delete everything except the quote, and put dot and star. All right, so that's all you need to add, so to allow all traffic. All right, so that's all you need to do. So the next thing you need to do, press escape and press shift ZZ to save and come out. All right, so for everything that we've done so far, the modification about adding our GUI, Tomcat, and password, and all this modification, we need to go inside the bin and shut down our Tomcat and start it back up. All right, so before we can be able to do that, we need to go to the bin folder. So we need to come out of this directory by doing cd space dot dot 1 cd dot dot 2 cd dot dot 3. All right, so I'm back here. I need to navigate inside the bin folder. So if I do ls, you're gonna see the bin. So I'm going inside the bin, cd into the bin. So right now I'm in the bin folder. So all I'm gonna do is to shut down my Tomcat. If I come back here right now, you can see my Tomcat is running. So let me come back here and then paste. So I'm gonna shut it down. When I refresh, it's down. So the next thing I need to do is to start up my Tomcat. So for all the modification to be able to be effective. So Tomcat started. If I come back right here, and you can see that. All right, so let's go back to the next instruction. So type exit to come out of this bash. So let's type exit. All right, so the next thing we need to do, let's integrate Tomcat with Jenkins. So step 18, go back to your Jenkins job configure, scroll down to the container tab and click on add container, select Tomcat 9. Go back to your project job, go to configure. So scroll down to the container. So under the container, click on add container, then scroll down to the arrow and click on Tomcat 9. All right, so it's gonna show you right here. So this is where we need the username and password that we added on our Tomcat. So what you're gonna do, first of all, we need to copy the Tomcat URL. So go back to your Tomcat right here, refresh it. Since we started, it's gonna come back up, and just click right here, copy the link, then go back to Jenkins. Go back to Jenkins, paste that right here, and under here click on add. It's gonna show Jenkins. Click on Jenkins, it's gonna show right here. So under the global credential, so don't change anything right here. The next thing you need to do is to add a Tomcat on here, and the password is password. All right, so let's add a Tomcat credential and the description. So I'm gonna make the ID Tomcat cred. It can be anything, but make sure it's associated with the Tomcat, because you're still gonna have a SonarQube or some stuff like that. And from the drop down, you can be able to recognize which of the credential you're choosing. All right, so that's all you need to do. Then click add. So all you need to do right now, click on the arrow down and go to Tomcat cred, then choose that and make sure that the Tomcat URL is right here. All right, so let's go back and see what next we have to fix. So the next thing we need to do, step 20, click on apply and save, then click on build now and wait for it to build. All right, so let's go back, and we've added everything. The next thing we need to do is to click on apply and save. By the time you save and check, it's gonna build automatically, so don't worry about that. So make sure you fix everything you need to fix before you come back right here and click on build. Then if everything is okay, then your build should be green. and we should be able to see the code on Tomcat. Alright, so click on one time and wait for it to build. It's gonna pull the code from our GitHub, pass it through the Maven, build it, and send it down to our Tomcat container. Alright, so right here, if I check right now, it's gonna check my build. Alright, there's an error on it. So the next thing I need to do to check the error, let's go to the console output. Alright, let me figure out what might be the issue. Okay, error, pound file. Alright, it said no such directory. Alright, let me go figure that out from right here. Yeah, you should be able to find it on the main. Okay, on the main. Alright, so the issue that I have right now is because my Jenkins is trying to build from master and I don't have master right here, so I push my code into the main. Alright, that's good. So all I need to do is to go back right here and go back to my configure project, go back to the configure, and this is where the problem is. So it's trying to pull from master and my code wasn't on master, it's on main. Alright, so all I need to do is to change this one to main, apply and save, and let me try to build again, and this time I should be able to get a grain. Alright, bingo. Alright, so that's good. It shows us how to be able to troubleshoot if you run into some stuff like this. Alright, so let's go to the console output now and see we have a grain and everything built. You can see how the process went and build the success. And if we go back right now to our Tomcat and add slash my awesome app, the way it's written with the uppercase, enter, then we should be able to see hello world. Alright, so let's go back and see. So basically we are able to run everything on here and be able to see our hello world. So we are able to automate our CI/CD using Jenkins, Maven, Git, and Tomcat. Alright, so this brings us to the end of this section, and on our next section we will see how we can be able to use this build and add SonarQube and Nexus and every other DevOps tool to automate the build. Alright, so this brings us to the end of this section, and I hope you learned. Thank you.